Starting the stream. The stream is beginning and it will not end yet. Not yet. Everybody get ready to go. So Scar said that the Moire effect might be worse if we use a certain resource pack. So can we deselect the server specific resources? We cannot. Interesting. Yes. So there's apparently something. I just thought it was because the pinball machine was so big. But Scar's done a bunch of experimental work, and he's like, no, the Moire effect is extra bad on the server because of our resource pack. So, I don't know what's up with that. But it's apparently a thing. Ow. Okay. Cool. Let's make sure the stream is set up. We've got... Dude, where's the link stuff? Let's go ahead and actually move this up to here. Okay. I'm not seeing any comments in either chat. Why is that? Oh. Hey, morning, Tommy. Okay, so yeah, there's one comment in one chat. Good. Hey, Tommy. Let me know when you're ready to go for that call about the newsletter today, since I've got a thing later, which for operational security reasons I cannot expressly say here. But I've got something interesting I need to do that's HermitCraft related in a little bit. And so I don't want to... We definitely can't run late. Yes, it is a thing. So in the meantime, let me see about some of this other stuff. Bum. Okay. Let's see, I had some correspondence. It is Monday morning. So Monday morning I check my email and I make sure that I read all the messages from all the hermits that came in over the weekend. Asuma asking Jassassin if he has GitHub. Yay. Yeah, okay. We're the best at what we do. Okay, cool. I need to send a message. Hey. Okay, nice little message there. Okay. Okay. So, let's see. Other stuff going on this week. We've got the... Oh, I know why nobody's in chat. It's because I've got the Twitch chat open and not the YouTube chat open. And I'm not streaming on Twitch right now. I was like, there's something wrong and I can't put my finger on it. I posted the tipping link and usually somebody would at least say like, Joe, yeah, we're here. Morning. Okay, yep. I was just in the wrong chat. Welcome, Mind of Me. Thanks again for setting us on course for a great discussion Saturday night. Really appreciate that. People went back and left a lot of nice comments on the VOD there. So thank you very much, Mind of Me. Welcome, Mahi0, JCB, Anonymous Neko, Mr. Phillips, Heart of Pure Zen, Nils, and Ashley Baker. It is that kind of morning. Yeah, it's the kind of morning where it's like, oh, we're out of coffee, so I need to try and drop my kid off at school early so I have time to go buy a new bag of beans before the stream starts. It's fine. I've got my coffee now. But yeah, it was a little bit of a late night because I was setting up the new Everstorm server. Let me connect to that real quick. We have the Everstorm on here, right? Looks like some people have already started. Oh, whoops. Game mode creative. Game mode spectator. Looks like some people have already started some basic farms here around spawn. Folks were complaining about phantoms, which I'm not sure why phantoms would be more of a problem on this particular one than a previous variant of the server, but you know, it's a thing. But yeah, so the way the Everstorm works is every month we reset the server with a bunch of secret game rules and add-on server-side mods. I'm just going to run around and load some chunks real quick to make sure that they're not having to load for people for the first time. No, I don't want to be in the snow layer if I'm too high elevation. Tommy says, I think that phantoms were just turned off entirely last Everstorm, so this Everstorm they're a particularly notable nuisance. Ah, that's interesting. Yeah, I thought about setting the world spawn up here in this little thing as like a happy village or whatever, but then I was like, no. I like the idea that people move away from world spawn. Like, world spawn shouldn't... Like, I understand that the world spawn village has spawn in it, but, like, sometimes the place where people spawn into the world isn't necessarily the best place to settle. The best place to settle might be just over the hill or something. So, I've very conveniently put the world spawn just on the other side of the hill from this huge open area where people can build, if they so choose, where there's a little village and stuff like that. We'll see if anybody actually wants to do that, because, you know, they might say, well, no, I'm pretty happy over here with my, you know, taiga or whatever. But yeah, I mean, if you just hopped in a boat from there and then came out here, you're at this little village with a whole little area here. But yeah, I like the idea of when people join the server, it feels a little bit like when you first start in Minecraft on a beach. Maybe I should have made the world spawn on one of these beaches far away from the trees. But, you know, people like access to wood. I don't know. I'm thinking a lot about game design because we've got probably... We don't have a HermitCraft date for launching Season 10 yet, but my best estimate is probably sometime in early 2024. And so I need to start planning for my Patreon server. Some of the hermits decided they didn't want to wait, and they're restarting their Patreon vanilla servers early. I get why, but I'm just... for me, I'd rather wait, you know? So, anyway. Yeah, here's another little village. I feel like it's very easy in the Everstorm setup to feel like, oh boy, this is claustrophobic. We need to just stay right by world spawn where we feel safe. But it's Minecraft, you know, exploring and adventuring is a big part of it. But anyway, so, okay, we preloaded some extra chunks just so the server doesn't churn while people are playing. Although, honestly, with some of the performance mods we're testing, I do a lot of behind-the-scenes testing of not only, like, mods that modify world gen and stuff, with the, excuse me, I do, not only mods that modify world gen and stuff like that, but I also do a lot of testing of performance mods on Everstorm, stuff that I'm like, I don't know how stable this is. Let's see how this works, and hopefully it's fine. Welcome, Evanetta. Glad you could join us. Vintage beef left the game. Bye, beef. Bye, beefy. La da 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 da. Bum 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 bum. Anything to prove I'm disloyal. Bum bum. Oh, speaking of anything to prove I'm disloyal, some of y'all know that my middle name is Benedict, and my new nephew is named Benedict. And so I wrote this. I captured a conversation we had at this restaurant on Saturday with my friends, And yeah, I'm like, oh, the baby is named Benedict. So, I mean, I'm just going to assume the baby's named after me. And my friend's like, well, that makes sense. I'm sure the parents didn't look at the baby and say, yep, that baby is going to do a treason. And I was like, treason, baby! Gonna betray you all! Treason, baby! And my daughter's like, Dad, we are in a restaurant. So, yay. So yeah, speaking of betraying you all, there's the treason baby theme. In case anybody saw that Mastodon tweet and was like, Joe, what does 80s rock theme sound like? A Mind of Me says, oh, that's the concept. I was trying to think what treason was committed by a Joseph. Yeah. So let's go ahead and turn off those live reactions so we don't have to have that stupid heart there. Yay. I hate that I have to manually turn that off every time. Fluffball says dads are supposed to be embarrassing. I was paying attention to my volume. We were in a very loud restaurant. I was being within reasonable. I was at the upper end of reasonable, but it was not an unmodulated volume. Oh, it's in the red. Hold on. Start recording. We made a ton of progress on our pinball machine, but we've also made progress on this Mumbo button. Only Pearl and Asuma are online, and of course they lack the guile, the skill, the patience, the nothing better to do to stand here and wait for this to turn red. So here we go. Diamonds and a crown. Whoa! Oh yeah, I got a repeat of the crown I had already. But boom, there we go. Upgraded crown! And we saved the life of this broken piano machine. Is it stuck on yellow forever now? Nope, it's going. Wow. I feel like it used to fix itself a lot quicker. Can we add some extra note blocks maybe? So it goes, like, instead of just do-da, 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 it could go da-da-da-da-da, la-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, ba-ba-da-da-da-da. Wow, it's still going. That was, like, the longest thing I could think of to sing. Like, I guess I could do like da 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 da. Mumbo, you're killing me. How is this taking longer to fill the lights back up than it took to get to red? Oh my gosh. Mumbo Jumbo. Thank you. Bye. No, I mean, don't leave. The episode's not over. We still got more stuff to do at the pinball machine. Time skip. Whew. Okay, I think that take came out okay. I might have to tweak the piano down a little bit, or the other stuff. I might have to play with the volume in editing, but that's always a possibility. Tommy Boy writes, no treason's allowed in restaurants, Joe. Welcome back, Beef. You missed the button. Amazing timing, really. Okay. Me. Okay, so let's grab, wait. I guess technically crowns can go in the mob tops box. But also now we got some extra diamonds too, so that's good. Dottie Matrix says, excited for the Ellie Beatmaker remix of whatever just happened. Lakshmi13 says, I love 80s rock so much, the way you sang it is exactly the way I did it in my head reading that post. Yay! See, I'm a great communicator. Wum bum ba da 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 do 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 da da na 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 na. Okay, so we've got the pinball machine set up. We only really left hanging out by the button because I needed to film leaving, flying away from the button. So, yeah. Let's fly up here real quick. Let's see what the final variant of this looks like with the shaders on. I'm actually just curious. Options. I was not sure if we were gonna get that get the red button this episode, so that's really exciting. Like, it's kind of one of those things where I was like, man, I'm gonna be sitting here for 2 hours to get this take, and I'm like 15 minutes into the stream, and I'm like, yep, there's a good day of work. Guess I can pack it in, which I can't because we got Tommy calling in shortly, not shortly, but at some point in the future. But yeah, I'm like, okay, all done. Nice. Okay, yeah, the fog effect here. Oh, I need to check. There's some other stuff I need to do actually during the stream. I needed to check if the new Bobby mod release was out yet. I know there's a beta, but I'm not super comfortable using that at this point. Yeah, the sodium 0.5 variant. Well, yeah. Yeah. Because there's the sodium 5 branch here that's 2 commits ahead of master, where he bumped the version to 5.01 snapshot and then updated to sodium 5 by adding, okay, Bobby on fake chunk removed. Okay. Yeah, it looks like there were a bunch of functions in the old sodium that's not in the new one. And so he had to remove a bunch of those. Interesting. So yeah, if you want to see the commit where he updated everything to sodium 0.5, here is the link to that. Whoops. Because yeah, the new sodium 0.5 removed a bunch of old functions that they're like, we don't think a lot of mods are necessarily using all of these. It's going to make things way more efficient. Like sodium 0.5 is way faster than sodium 4. But unfortunately, I've broken a bunch of other mods. La da 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 da. Yeah. I'm assuming I actually would need to install Gradle to build this. I can't just zip it up and rename it a jar file. Yeah, generating Minecraft sources. Yeah, this is not probably worth doing, but I really want to play with it. Okay, so other stuff I need to do. I need to figure out why my bed mod isn't working. Oh, it looks like I accidentally unclicked it in the mod list. Let's fix that real quick. Oh, we definitely need to get this replay file. So So re-enable passive aggressive beds. Launch. That should fix it. Okay. Sodium. Sodium just updated 15 hours ago, too. What's up with that? So, Sodium 0.5.0 was August 4th. Biggest updates for Sodium yet, performance enhancements, bug fixes, and improvements. But then 0.5.1 just dropped. I'm going to link that real quick in case anybody's curious. Okay, also, let's go in and generate a quick replay mod of the button thing. Oh, do we want the shaders on for this? Oh, but this is part of why I was holding off on getting the next episode out, because I wanted to Bobby mod and the shaders at the same time, and I can't do that until the new Bobby mod drops, unless I get that jar compiled. And I'm not going to be comfortable just having somebody else send me a random jar. I want to build it myself from publicly available sources. So maybe that's just an unreasonable expectation. But okay, so let's say we go into the machine here. And like I want to show like the machine running. Like maybe. Where's the dispenser that brings out the Oh, that's how this works. Interesting. If it gets all the way to there, it hits the TNT. And twisting, and twisting. Okay, so at what point in here do I actually go down and touch the thing? Oh, actually, I should go back. I need to go back to before it changes. Was it on red this whole time? It must not have been, because I thought it was on yellow when I logged in. Okay, so it's definitely on yellow here. At what point does it switch to red? I'm going to go max speed. There it was. So 43 seconds in, it switches to red. So can I get myself in the shot here? It's such an odd angle. Okay, let's try this. Okay, but we're gonna set this to 37 seconds. Okay. How long does it take me to realize that it's gone out? It takes me a while, apparently. Wow, that's going to be a little bit of noise. Sorry about that. Okay, that's when I fly away. How many minutes is that? That is 3 minutes. Okay. Okay. You can build the Bobby mod with the Gradle W build command. Gradle is named Gradle W in most fabric mods. Interesting. Alrighty, good luck at Bandcamp, Nicholas. I hope you have a great time. Glad you could catch the part of the morning stream. Addition says those tones are just what it sounds like in my head all the time. And Minecraft Lego Man says you can build the Bobby mod with the /GradleW build command. Gradle is named GradleW in most fabric mods. Okay. That does sound like, you know what? Maybe let's try and get this this render going, and then we can mess with that. Okay, so if we have, I think maybe we have this come like that to about here. And then I kind of want to show the redstone inside, but I'm torn about that because well, let's see what's interesting that does happen inside once. Okay, so I can tell from the fireworks where I flew off from. Just pop that out a little bit, give it more of an arc. Okay. So we got kind of a gradual sweep here. Outputs to /build/libs. Awesome. Thank you, MC Lego Man. Beans is in the upper right. So then I think somebody else uses a bed, or do I use the bed? I'm pretty sure it just happens while I'm standing there. Night turns to day. So you definitely didn't stand there the whole night, did we? Okay, I'm still in frame, although I'm behind the thing. Yeah, we definitely don't need this many frames. We can speed this up a little bit. The soft glow of the beacon streetlights, only on HermitCraft. Okay, so I've started moving. Do I use the bed? No, I just jump down. And I look around. No one's there. So that's a good view of everything dropping down on me. I'm going to turn the volume down temporarily so you guys don't have to hear that. I can still hear it. It's going to drive me bonkers. But, okay. So let's pause the camera path at this point. And look around in here to see if there's like any particular point of view that's interesting in particular. Like, where are the note blocks? Let's put a marker in here for that. Okay, we'll call that note blocks. Okay, save. Welcome, Emily. Okay. So we're going to, because like I said, ideally, I think this would look much cooler if we had the long render distance. Let's see if we can get this experimental Bobby mod thing done. And in the meantime, we can go back to camping the button and see if we can get it to purple. So I'll be working on my laptop to compile the Bobby mod experimental branch with Gradle. If you're not compiling your own software, are you really a Let's Player? Yeah. Completely unnecessary gatekeeping. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't make myself laugh. But that was like one of the most preposterous things I could possibly say. And I say a lot of preposterous things. Okay. I need to enable voice chat to hear custom audio. I have... Oh. Must have hit the V button by accident there. Okay. So, apparently there's a new version of Iris as well. Let's move the mic so I can use the laptop easier. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. So the new version of Iris, what's that got going on? Some sodium 0.51 issues. Okay. So this all sounds good to me. Opening up the Bobby mod GitHub page, switching branch to sodium dash 0.5. Then we're gonna download this. As a zip. Okay, terminal, CD downloads / Bobby sodium 0.5, and then we're going to see if we can use Gradle to just straight up build it. What's the difference between Gradle and Gradle W? Is the W for Windows? Because I'm not on a Windows machine. Well, let me check that real quick. Because I see there's both of those are in here. Oh, that's the Gradle wrapper. Okay. Yes. Okay. Tommy says, you know what, Tommy? I'm going to let you save that joke. Tommy just told a joke in the Discord. I'm going to let you deliver that on voice when you call in later. Remind me. I promised you could do that because I'm not going to do that justice. Okay, /Gradle W. Okay. Morning, Mazer T. We just got a new hat, so the button has been fully reset. Excuse me. Boy, it's amazing how many dependencies software projects have these days. Oh. Build failed in 55 seconds. One error. Unresolved reference GIK. Target commit-ish. Is that maybe part of having fabric? It's a Kotlin build script issue with IntelliJ. It might be because I don't have IntelliJ installed. I can run again with the -info option for more for more log output. Yeah, let's try that. It's gonna build failed in 0.863 seconds this time. Script compilation error. Line 118, target commit-ish. We gotta go bother Cleo. Good morning, Zombie Cleo. Woo! Morning, Cleo. Howdy. Are you here? You might not be here. Cleo left the game. Oh, no. Ow, my tree. Check the 199 comment channel. There's a compiled Bobby Beta version. Yeah, but is it distributed by the people who made it? I'm not super keen on installing things that are like... What's the 199 comment channel also? What does that mean? Is it in the issues? Is there like an issue with 199 comments? Is that what you're saying? I mean, if you tell me what you mean, I could find it, but I don't know. I like just can't comprehend this. Is it the incompatible with sodium comment? Oh. You're saying it's pull request 199. Okay, yeah. Sorry, that... I can find that. I am curious, though, why I'm getting this Kotlin error. Hold on. I want to see if I can figure out why this won't compile on my own, too. I appreciate this, but if I go to line 118 here, in this Kotlin file, what's going on? I don't think I need this. This is basically a GitHub target commit thing. So, okay, basically, I think I can just feed in a string here, and it might work. I'm just going to change that to Joe. This is the target commit Joe. Yeah. Okay, I think it was because I wasn't logged into GitHub, and this guy has it rigged up so that it connects to the GitHub API when he does his builds. So I'm just gonna... I want to see if I figured this out on my own. I appreciate you sending me this link, Candalis, but I really... If something can't compile, I want to see if I can get it to compile. It failed in 55 seconds last time because it tried to connect to GitHub at one of the later steps. And I've just told it basically to ignore that. Don't ask GitHub for this information. Just put the word Joe in. "52 seconds, 53 seconds, 54 seconds, 55 seconds. Here's where it failed last time. It has not failed. It's continuing to run. Okay, great. We're at 1 minute, 1 second. So it might still fail with something else later. But I think I did solve the problem. Hey, build successful. Woo! In 1 minute, 27 seconds. Okay. So, ls build. Well, where does it... Where's the actual output? Okay. I assumed it would get dropped into just into the build directory, but maybe not. Let's find out. Nope. Maybe just running it... I think maybe we just initialized it without actually... What's it? Build successful. Assembles and tests this project. Oh, we need to do /gradlew_jar to actually build the jar file itself. Cool. So we're making progress. Woo. But I am reading that thread while I wait for that to build. So yeah, Kindles, I do appreciate you sending this, because this is a very informative thread. Okay. So ls build slash generated? No. So it's not going into build slash libs for some reason. There is no. There's build slash dev libs. Is that it? Yeah, build slash dev libs. Let's go. Okay. So Gmail. Bobby beta test. Bobby beta attached. Yeah. Because I'm a professional, I'm going to email this jar file to myself, which is probably going to throw a bunch of problems in the mail software, but it's fine. Blocked for security reasons. Yep. So I need to turn that into a zip file, it looks like. Blocked for security reasons. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to put it in my Google Drive. Why didn't I do... I'm so used to Google Drive not existing because I'm old that I forget that I can upload files directly into the thing here. Okay. Okay. So now we go to Google Drive on this computer. I purposely don't make it easy for my two computers to talk to each other because, you know, the one that I run video games on, sometimes I'm installing executable files from people I meet at PAX, and that's not the best security practice in general. So you might be like, how come you have so many steps to get these two computers to talk to each other? Oh my gosh, just network them together. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Okay. So we need to quit Minecraft for the moment so we can add this new Bobby snapshot. And we're also going to grab the new sodium version. And we're going to grab the new iris version. For fabric. And let's make sure that replay mod hasn't had an update as well. Just while we're updating all our versions of things. Download now. Change log. 2.16.13. That might be 2.6.13. No, we already have that. Okay, cool. So view folder. Okay, so we're going to disable this old iris. We're going to disable the old Bobby. Disable the old sodium. Why won't it let us disable the old sodium? Oh, because we haven't quit the game yet. Okay, disable the old sodium. Disable the old iris. Mods, ferrite core. We're using the latest one of that. Okay, so what else might we have to do? Status mod. No, that's probably fine. Fabric API. Updated a day ago. What's in the changelog here? Bump version, improve indigo. TFU, make deprecated modules opt out instead of opt in. Okay, yeah, that sounds fine. So, new fabric API 0.87. I need the new indium. What's indium? I don't think I'm running indium at all. Is it like a prereq for other stuff? Indium. Add support for fabric rendering API. None of these mods I have use indium. Yeah, I see you say it's a companion to sodium that lets other stuff work, but none of the things I'm running require it. So I'm not going to install it just for kicks. I see, like, yeah, chisels and bits, better grass, continuity packages. Yeah, I don't use continuity. What is that one? More efficient connected textures. Continuity will not work without the indium mod if sodium is installed. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, let's just launch with what we have, since I could try connected textures later. I just want to see if we can get Bobby mod and replay mod working with the shaders again. That's the primary thing at this point. So, trying to launch the game. Let's see if it goes with a custom compiled jar. Let's see. Okay. Game crashed. Why? Is it because my fabric loader version isn't up to date with the latest? Nope, it's the latest. Okay. Does the new Bobby mod require indium? Okay, let's try it without ferrite core. Without, just maybe on the off chance that that's it. But if I had to guess, a lot of errors here. Error loading class background vendor, error loading class client chunk manager, error loading class. You know what? Okay. Let's assume that my version of the Bobby jar that I did myself has a problem with it, and see if we swap it out with the one that was provided by the developer. Does that does that one have the same problem? Probably not. Let's try the... Maybe there's some sort of dependency that Gradle didn't check for, that it just compiled. It basically failed while claiming it was a success. So let's find out. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay, so I don't have the ability to access tarballs on the Windows computer, apparently. So let's download this on the other computer, and then turn it into a zip file, and then put it in Google Drive, and then... and so on, and so on, and so on. Okay. Okay. So... issue... live event chat... I really don't want to put WinRAR on this computer. I don't want to put anything on this computer that I don't absolutely have to. Like, the streaming computer is basically as empty a computer as... Like, it has the absolute bare minimum stuff required to run streams. I don't want anything extra, really. I have folding at home on there, because it's got a bunch of powerful hardware and it heats my apartment in the winter. But, yeah. No, adding software to the desktop is never the desired option. Okay. So, now we go back to Google Drive over here. And go to... Okay. Download. Okay. And then launch. Also, wasn't there like a whole thing with the license for WinRAR too? Like, I feel like... Or am I thinking of IRC? There was something with some, like, one of those where it's like people had bought like permanent licenses and the guy like didn't want to honor them or something. Is that not WinRAR? Or was that WinZip? Okay. Yeah, no, the problems are definitely with the Bobby mod. Okay, let's try... Okay, so we're going to turn off Iris, and we're going to try launching again. No, we're getting a ton of errors in here. Okay, maybe the problem is we updated to sodium 5.1. Let's try sodium 5.0. Maybe we're getting some sort of... Maybe sodium 5.1 made a fix that broke... Nope. Sodium requires 5.1, so that's not it. Okay, we just got a new error there. That at least was helpful. Okay, so let's try getting rid of passive-aggressive beds and status mod. Nope. Is it launching? Nope, it killed. Cannot execute entry point stage client due to errors provided by Bobby. Why? Let's hold on. let's see something here. No, wait. Okay, I think I found an issue. I don't know if it's the issue. Okay, it's not letting me disable or enable these mods. Why not? The game hasn't launched. View mods. Okay, disable. Nope. Why not? Okay. Because there's already... Okay, hold on. That's it. If you have two of them with the same name. Okay. Apparently there was some sort of weird conflict by having my snapshot and their snapshot in the same folder or something. I don't know. Let's see. But I looked at it, and the compiled one that they sent it, or that the developer had, is 800 kilobytes, whereas mine was 100 kilobytes. So there was definitely something where Gradle should have been failing, and it wasn't. Okay. How come we're not getting Minecraft in the OBS here? Okay. So the game is at least launching now. Let's go ahead and re-enable a bunch of the other mods then. Like ferrite core, iris, passive-aggressive beds, and status, and then see if it launches. Looks like it might be launching. It's hard to say. It takes a while. Okay, here we go. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Options, video settings, render distance. We're going to bring that up to, like, let's say 52 chunks here. So if I just stand here, okay, that's a good start. Let's try turning it up a little bit. I don't know, like 174. Okay. Excuse me. Boom, 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 boom. Tommy says, I think I'm ready to call in. Yeah, go ahead and initiate that call then, please, Tommy.
Howdy, Joe. Good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay? I should be on voice activation.
You sound good to me.
Okay, fantastic. One thing I realized yesterday that we'll want to watch out for in the future, hopefully moving to the monthly cycle, this will be like more of a natural thing. We had talked about when the end date for the next Everstorm server would be, but it never actually ended up in the newsletter.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. I think it was one of those weeks where it's like, oh, we were gonna announce the end date, but then there was no survivors or obituaries that week, so the whole section got cut.
Ah,
So
I
I,
see.
I see how it happened. I'm not stressed about it, but it was a little bit surprising apparently for some of the players that I was like, okay, I'm shutting down the server, and they're like, what, today? And I'm like,
I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's fine, it's fine. This is how we learn. But yeah, once we switch to the monthly schedule anyway, that's gonna be in there. We had talked about when I look at the calendar here, doing our September newsletter, having that come out on the second Monday of September. So I think we want to announce that this Everstorm will end on the 10th of September. Is that consistent with what we had talked about? I felt like that
It
was where
sounds accurate.
we landed. Okay. Another thing I realized after our last conversation, we talked extensively about the best day to post the newsletter or whatever.
Mhm.
I realized that just because it goes up on the website on a certain day doesn't mean that needs to be the day it goes on Patreon and gets emailed to everybody.
This is true.
And so, in theory, if I still think we should try the second Monday thing first because my gut says that's what's right. But if we start doing that and you're like, no, Joe, I have to have a set day of the month and it has to always be the 15th or something, right? Then I would just
Hmm.
say, okay, well, if we're going to do a set day to accommodate Tommy better, I'll just do the Patreon the next Tuesday after that or the next Monday after that. So there might be a little bit of a lag before people get it in their inbox, but we could still find a way to make it work if we have to.
Hmm.
So I appreciate you giving me the benefit of the doubt and trying this second Monday thing, but
Yeah.
don't feel like that's something that we can't revisit because I found what could be a compromise if needed.
Would you like to hear my thoughts?
I would, yes.
What if, let's say, I shoot to have the newsletter done on the first of the month and then it can actually go live like the second Monday or so?
Well, so then I would say we need to announce that the current Everstorm is going to end August 31st.
Mm,
That
I
was part of
see.
the reason for because I wanted to synchronize the Everstorm with this, and I had said, do we want to possibly extend your Everstorm to the end of the month, or do we want to do a short one? If we have to do this one as a short one, that's okay with me. But there is at least one specific reason that we wouldn't just do the first of the month.
Right.
Um, I do like the idea of doing the first of the month, other than like I said, it does hit April Fool's Day and January 1st. Which are both
Well, I
like,
can type the newsletter. I don't have to actually post it,
yeah,
but it can be ready by
it can be
then.
ready by then. Um, yeah, I mean, we have not made a formal decision about this.
Hmm.
So, and this is the sort of thing that we were planning on talking about on the 19th anyway. The only reason that we really kind of wanted to lock it down was so that I could make sure that we got into this newsletter when this Everstorm was ending.
Right.
Um, from your point of view, do you genuinely feel like having it be the first of the month would always be better than like the second Monday? Because if you're the one doing it, if you feel that like on a gut level, and I just on like January 1st and on April 1st or whatever, wait to actually email people out until after the holiday. Uh, I
I
think
think
I think
that
that's
would
a
genuinely work
compromise.
better for me because having that consistent date will be more dependable for me, like
Hmm.
very consistent for me. Whereas second Monday is going to just be so scattered for me. Like it's just not going to be as consistent. And in cases of January 1st and April 1st, we can just delay that to the second,
Okay. Uh,
or whenever.
yeah, like the next weekday that people would be getting emails and stuff.
Right.
Um, so how about we?
And I could be wrong on this.
Well, and if we start doing it, and you're just like, okay, I hate this. We should do the middle of the month. Like worst case, we have another Everstorm that goes short or long.
Right. We just
So
make that one even harder so people die faster.
yeah, well, I mean, we've had one person die already because they didn't have fast enough internet to like connect before they got killed by a phantom. Apparently,
That's
like
impressive. That's really bad
that's
internet.
really bad internet. Because
Unless it
like
was somebody else's phantoms, of
I
course.
well, that's the no. I think it was somebody else had been hanging out long enough to spawn a bunch of phantoms. But I will say, like, we're not sending people a huge resource pack or anything. This is just like that
No.
was particularly bad internet. But like, yeah, if you
Mhm.
have bad internet, you might need to log on with a buddy. Like, like say, hey, you log on, make sure it's safe, and then I'm gonna log on. Like, guard me while I'm
Log on, build some dirt around me, or put me in the ground.
yeah, put me in the ground. Um, yeah. So okay, go ahead and announce that this is gonna be a short Everstorm. That will conclude. Let's see, pulling up my calendar here. Uh, August. So the other thing is, I kind of like closing them out on Sundays, because
Hmm.
like a lot of times if I schedule closing it out during the week, I have stuff pop up. You know
So
what I
what if
mean?
Everstorm closes the last Sunday of the month?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that would end on the 27th. So here's the one thing about that I uh that that might generally work well. It isn't gonna collide with some holidays. It's gonna hit Halloween. It's gonna hit possibly Thanksgiving. It's gonna hit Christmas, New Year's. So last day of the month is gonna have the same problem though. Halloween is the 31st. New Year's Eve is the 31st. You don't want.
Last non-holiday Sunday of the month.
Yeah. It might just be like toward the end of the month, and
Hmm.
so we'll say, Everstorm will now end toward the end of the month so that Tommy has time to get the obituaries and survivor notices in, and then
Within the last week of the month. How about that
yeah,
phrasing?
yeah, and we say even if the new Everstorm launches on like the 27th, the obituaries of the people that die in the first 3 days won't be published until that whole Everstorm closes. So
Right.
so the obituaries now tell the story of the entire path of the Everstorm.
Yes.
Um, okay, so let's look at this month in particular. I think this month in particular, Thursday the 31st, I could do. So that's, but yeah. So we'll say that this Everstorm closes Thursday the 31st of August. So a new one can launch with the with the first monthly newsletter. Sound good?
Yes.
Okay.
Just so mention that this Everstorm will be a little shorter in concluding on August 31st, which is a Thursday, and that Everstorms will conclude within the last week of the month with obituaries and survivors posts going up on the newsletter on the first of the month
Yeah.
following.
Um yeah, and we should probably say something like maybe don't explicitly say the first, maybe just say at the beginning. Because
At
while
the
we
beginning.
generally mean the first, we
Hmm.
know that we're not going to hold ourselves to that
Right.
for certain months. So we're going to say we're going to end the Everstorm toward the end of the month, and the monthly newsletter will launch or will be published at the beginning of the month. And we can kind
Yes.
of loosely define beginning and end that way without getting too in the weeds.
Gotcha.
Okay. This new really for if anybody hasn't looked at the screen for a little while in Minecraft. Oh no, I shouldn't have looked down. The chunks. The chunks. I was going to say like we've actually loaded like this stupidly wide like long distance render at night in a very short period of time. Like a shockingly short period of time.
The shopping district looks so different.
I can see flashing lights at Total Chaos.
Fun.
Is somebody online over at Total Chaos doing something? It shouldn't be communicating that to me. Maybe I'm freaking out. I've never seen a light change at this distance in the game?
I don't know if it looks different on stream. I don't see flickering, but it's moving a bit slowly. Or maybe it's not. I can't tell.
OBS looks like it's capturing it. It's very subtle, but there's like a tiny twinkle above Total Chaos, and then Total Chaos itself has some lights that are flashing randomly at times.
Huh.
Actually, I'm looking. There's other lights that are twinkling. Maybe torches twinkle with the latest version of this shader mod.
It's possible.
Okay, sorry. I'm like, yeah. Okay. So we are going to now turn the render distance back down, and I'm going to try. This was just a super quick test render at 174 chunks to see if this would crash, which it did not. So we're going to bring this down to a respectable like 60 chunks. And then
Very
do some
modest.
flying. Very modest 60 chunk render distance. And we're going to fly around at 30 frames a second. Which is a shockingly high amount of frames for 60 chunk render distance, right? Okay.
I will say, while stream didn't crash, it was moving very slowly before you had changed the render distance down.
Yeah, no, it definitely was not looking great there. Okay, so here's what I want to do next. We're going to lay our heads down and dream so we don't get phantoms while we load in the next test. Oh, I forgot to check if the bed mod was working. Oh, yeah, it's working. Oh, it's still doing that render thread info thing where it echoes out numbers to the console, though. I need to file an error report or something. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
It's fine.
It's a minor inconvenience that I'm fine with on the whole. Okay. So, let's see. From inside the top of the pinball machine here, can we see the racetrack? If we render distance 200 chunks, apply.
200.
Yeah, we're making some bad choices here, Tommy. We're making some real bad choices. Okay, so we're gonna give that a minute while we continue to talk about the newsletter.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me get my headings open. I have the intro. I have the quarterly meeting agenda. I've added to the agenda since last week. I've put in a section for emojis because I'd like to review the emojis that we did say we were going to add to the server and did not. And then also we've had some suggestions since then.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think some of that is just that I lost track of what we had talked about. So, do you have, this is actually perfect liaisoning between the community. If you have a list of the ones we said we'd do last time that we haven't done yet, I could work on those on the art stream on Wednesday morning, and we could actually still have them possibly done before the next meeting.
Ooh, do you want to include the ones that have been suggested as well, though they haven't been discussed at meetings?
Give them to me as give it to me as a list with a break in it. Like, these are the ones we said we would consider or do, and then here's the ones we haven't publicly considered yet, just so I could be brainstorming on them. And then when we talk about them at the meeting, I could even hold them up and be like, maybe it looks like this. What do you guys think? You know. So I might add the ones that we said we would add, but I might have something to talk about for the ones we said we'd talk about. Does that make sense?
Yes.
But yeah, please get me that list by Wednesday morning, because
Absolutely. I will do that after I post the newsletter.
Great, yeah, because Cleo is gonna miss this Wednesday anyway. So I was looking. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because last night I went and bothered Cleo at 3 a.m. and then I was like, well, at least I'll be able to see if I actually bothered her as much as I think I might have actually bothered her on Wednesday. Nope, Cleo's not gonna be there on Wednesday. Not gonna read into that at all.
She's avoiding you.
Yeah,
No.
I know, right? No, it's fine. It's fine. Are the hermits really mad at each other?
No. Okay. I also added a section for more channels because we've had a few suggestions as well.
Yep.
The fashion channel and the word games channel.
Yeah.
Also, this isn't a suggestion, but the field channel description still says up for reevaluation in 2020. I think we're a little past that.
Yeah.
Just a pinch.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. It's an experimental channel where folks should say what they're feeling. This is not intended to be limited to serious topics or negative emotions. This channel will be up for reevaluation at the end of 2020. I feel like we already said we were going to remove that, and we haven't. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to follow through on actually removing it. Literally right now, it's done.
Woohoo!
Yeah,
Look at us making progress.
we are getting things done here on the
All right.
HermitCraft server.
After the quarterly meeting section, I have the Minecraft section. I have the same DS9 event schedule with the petitions and then the 2 parades. And I did mention that, mention again that you're announcing the long-term build contest at the petitions, so
Did you
folks should
mention that Quinn's going to be the
attend.
musical guest at the parade?
I did not. I will put that
Okay.
in right now.
Yeah, that we just got that confirmed. Quinn's schedule. I sometimes I can't promise things in advance. As
Is
far
that
as our
the National Independent Worker Day parade on the 19th?
that's the one on the 19th. Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So we're gonna have a really probably the most exciting petitions we've ever had, and then we're gonna have a break with a musical guest, and then we're gonna have one of the most exciting quarterly meetings we've had in 2 years. So it's gonna be a whole day.
Woohoo!
It's gonna be a whole day.
A whole thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. After that, I have the Everstorm section with July closing out with the last obituary, and then I have the final reports from the survivors, and then I have August Everstorm opening. I didn't really know what to say about it. I basically just said it's a new Everstorm. Come join and find out what's weird about it.
Well, here's the one thing that you can mention is that
Hmm.
my daughter actually helped pick the mods for it. Uh,
Ooh.
so yeah, because since she just got back from being away all summer, she wants to hang out more, and sometimes like, well, I'm working on something, but you can look at it with me if you want. Here's what I'm doing. We're looking at here are some mods I'm thinking about. What do you think about this one? What do you think about this one? So some of the choices might be things I wouldn't have necessarily picked otherwise, but having a good conversation with her about it. This is not like, oh, wacky crayon, terrible game design, child mode. But
No.
there is definitely a spin on this. There are definitely things in there that I would not necessarily have chosen. That after talking to her, I was like, you know what? Okay, we could balance that out by adding one or two other things, and that might be okay. Yeah, let's.
How exciting.
So yeah,
She's setting a record for our youngest creative lead.
exactly. Like I said, I'm still the creative lead on this one, but yeah, with
Wow.
like I said, I didn't want it to be like crayon mode, child finger paint.
Plagiarism.
No, I'm the creative lead means there's other people too. Like you were the creative lead when you
Creative
had
co-lead.
yeah, like we had
I'm giving her credit.
assistance. You can credit
I'm
her. I'm just
giving her
saying like
credit.
with assistance from Corinne would not be inappropriate to say. But yeah. But that is part of what makes this one interesting. Um
All right. Next, after that, I have the pinball section. Toxic has won for a 6th time in a row. I'm
oh, I
over
know,
it.
it's
It's just,
killing me. It's like if he wins 15 of these in a row in the first 15 weeks,
can we ban him from the tournament?
no. You know how I feel about banning people who haven't broken rules, Tommy.
He's breaking my heart. How about that?
Yeah. Oh boy.
Toxic Glitter Heartbreaker Pinball Champion.
Yep, yep.
Okay. I have the tournament standings linked again as well, and then I have a section for HermitCraft 9 videos. I have the newest episode. For the upcoming stream schedule, I linked the soon webpage again, and the notable streams. I only have one VOD from your craft stream, but there was 2 VODs for it because I guess maybe your internet cut out or something. Should I include both VODs or just the
Oh,
one that's
the
longer?
longer one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's not
That's what I had
great.
thought.
Yeah. Uh, it's killing me because yeah, we've just
Because your internet's just
well,
non-existent at some points.
the problem is like it's legitimately. I don't think it's just the ISP screwing up. Like we're legitimately having due to probably climate change some of the most severe wind and lightning storms that we've
Eek.
had in like the since I've lived here since 2004. Like with the exception of like a few tornadoes that were more severe. Like
Mm-hmm.
this summer has had some really wild storms. And
You'd
like
think with everything getting worse, they'd make the system better.
well the problem is like to actually bury all the lines is like a huge permitting process that's going to take multiple years. Like it's a
Oh,
lot of the lines are still like on poles. You know what I mean? And so then
yeah.
but it's not like, oh boy, man, my ISP sucks. It's I walk around the neighborhood, I'm like, that's a lot of trees down. Like, it's so uh there is a fiber alternative where they've got the fiber in the ground, but it's not fully done yet. And so I
Okay.
might be signing up for that buried fiber once that becomes available in my apartment complex, but that's also partially based on like the landlord. So, I mean,
Right.
that's one of those things that's been like, oh, it's just 2 or 3 months away for like 6 to 8 months. So, it would have been fantastic to have that over the summer, but we don't. Uh, so whatever, it's
Yeah.
fine. Hopefully,
It's fine.
yeah. Once we get out of thunderstorm season, hopefully this isn't as much of a thing. But yeah, it has been much more
A
of a
whole
thing
thing.
this year than ever. But like it's at the point where I'm like the alternative is like moved to another state. Like
Wow, that's a
it's
lot.
yeah, which is a lot. So, yeah, I'm just kind of it's like, okay, if I want to fix this now, I can move somewhere that doesn't have these severe storms. If I can wait for the buried fiber internet to be available, then that'll be nice, but like it was supposed to be done months ago and it's still not ready, so who
Well, I
knows.
hope it's this 2 to 3 months for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I dare to dream. Um,
Okay.
okay.
Also for the notable stream section, do you want me to link the TCG with Cub VOD?
TCG with Cub VOD.
Since that's like a new occurring series.
Yeah, yeah, go for it. Sure.
Sweet. I
Yeah,
can do that
TCG
easy peasy.
Tuesday, which he stole for his
Yeah.
museum and replaced on Monday.
Perfect. Okay, after that I have the upcoming convention section and then the farewell. Am
Hmm.
I missing anything?
Uh, not that I can think of offhand. Maybe maybe link to did I post this on Twitter or maybe maybe I posted on Nashtadon. My thing with the TCG cards. Let me post this live event chat here, just so anybody who is listening in can know what we're talking about. I could just text Tommy this directly, but then everybody's gonna be like, "What picture are you talking about?"
Okay.
Maybe mention that this week all of the hermits are receiving or have received and signed and sent back their TCG cards. We're still hoping to get those out to folks. Like there's no changes to the original timetable. Everything is on track. This is like the signings are one of the last steps before they randomize the cards, package them, and ship them out. It's still going to be a few weeks, obviously, but you know, things are
Okay.
moving along, type of thing.
Do you want that like at the top?
Maybe. I mean, in some ways, this is the biggest news.
I usually put the TCG card game stuff at the top just because,
Yep.
if anyone's interested in that the most, it's, right at the tippy top.
Yeah. But like
Okay.
I cannot think of anything that's like more news. Like this was the single most disruptive event in HermitCraft this week. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, I bought 10 Sharpies and they're all dead."
Oh my God, I don't think I've ever dried out a Sharpie, like out of use.
Well, these paint Sharpies only have so much
Oh,
paint in them, and
yeah.
yeah. So just as a quick reminder, tips are welcome via paypal.me/Joe Hills and YouTube Super Chat. Uh
Gotta fund that Sharpie.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. No, that I don't want to name names, but one hermit was just like, "This is preposterous that we need this many Sharpies." And it's just like, well, but we do though. Like we can't just not sign these, right? Like we've come too far. Go buy some Sharpies.
God, that'd be awful if you go through all that work and then one of the hermits is just like, well, I don't have any Sharpies. I guess I can't sign
Yeah, they
mine.
only sent me 2 Sharpies, and each one lasted for 10 cards. Yeah. Well, and then like Cub fan, he's like, I bought 8 Sharpies and 7 of them died almost immediately, and then the other Sharpie I signed 360 cards with. Like,
Oh my
so it's just like apparently like however they're making these paint Sharpies, like something about them is like drying them out in shipping or something.
Oh.
Like I don't think they're being properly climate controlled or something. They're uh but yeah, so it's like a paint Sharpie that works properly, you can sign 350 cards with. But most of them, by the time they get to our homes or our shops and we purchase them, they're like, wrecked.
Climate control has gone too far.
Yeah, and like you might not notice it if you buy, like a lot of people who buy a silver Sharpie might be like, okay, I'm just gonna do some accent work here real quick. And
Hmm.
so using 10 cards worth of paint, and then you put it away for 6 months, and then you take it out again, and you're like, oh, it's dead. Oh, whatever, right?
You
Like
don't notice,
you
yeah.
don't notice, but we're like trying to sign 400 cards in one sitting, and it's like, dying Squirtle.
Do I get to tell my joke?
Yes, Tommy, please tell your joke.
Oh, guys, I hope you're so ready. Everyone in the chat, this is my current favorite joke 'cause I'm very amused by my own sense of humor, and that's what reminded me of the joke. But what do you call it when you're addicted to going to haunted houses?
I don't know, Tommy. What do you call it?
Irresistible.
Oh boy.
I will take my world's funniest boy trophy.
Yeah. People in the chat are yelling, "Woo, joke!"
It sure is.
Yeah, I think this might be as far as we can possibly see. I think all the chunks have loaded in. Well, some of the stuff on the left might still take a minute, but how are we doing on RAM? Java is using 20 gigabytes of memory. Okay. So that's fun.
That's a large number.
Yeah. So performance. The computer has 60 gigs of swap dedicated as well. So how am I doing for disk space, actually, at that point? If
I'm surprised your stream's still running.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm down to 65 free gigabytes of hard drive space because most of it is now swap for this render here. So that's interesting to note. Okay.
Computers could beg for mercy. It would.
Yeah, let me open up Steam and uninstall Civilization or something real quick so we don't run out of hard drive space. Oh yeah, it's under S for Sid Meier's Civilization. No, I've already uninstalled it. Boy, okay, what else can we uninstall real quick? No Man's Sky, I think, takes up a lot of disk space. 12 gigabytes. Yeah. General. Let's uninstall. Let's reclaim that 12 gigabytes real quick. What else can I uninstall? Install that. Uninstall golf with your friends. I'm sure that doesn't take up that much space, but like we're at the point where it's like, let's frantically uninstall things. Demio, you're gone. I really like Demio, but don't have room for it right now. Okay. So how am I doing for hard drive space now? 90 free gigabytes. Woo!
Woohoo!
Okay. So I can't quite see the ice boat track from here, sadly. 200 chunks is not far enough. So
It is if you go a little forward.
uh-oh. I have rotated the camera slightly, and now
You
everything is
fool.
like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Is this what the kids call hubris?
Yeah, that was I clicked the wrong thing. I was trying to pull up the menu real quick. Video settings. So right now the render distance maxes out at 200 chunks because the mod pack configuration, I think, is limited to that. But if we go to the config folder here, Bobby mod, max render distance 300. Save changes. Now we hit options. Oh gosh, no, I'm accidentally moving the camera again. Mistake. Actually, I do want
Several mistakes were made.
several mistakes were made. Video settings. Okay, so does this slider now go to... Oh, okay. Can you just move this slider here to 300. This is the point of the new sodium, is to be able to do stupid things. So this is going to reset our render, but we might be able to see the ice boat track. Let's find out. Okay. So, so we got your joke in. We talked about the newsletter stuff. What do we have anything else we need to cover in advance of the quarterly meeting, in terms of the agenda there or anything?
I don't think so. I will be posting the updated agenda in the quarterly business channel
Yeah.
after our call, I suppose, or after the newsletters goes up.
Okay.
Reminder to anybody in our Discord, if they want to add any items, now's the time to suggest them to be added in before the meeting.
I was gonna say, now's basically the last time. Like, we don't
Mhm.
want to have agenda items added really. Actually, I would almost say it's too late at this point. Like, we should actually say that we have.
Well, no, because news will come out in the newsletter, and if someone sees something, maybe it'll remind them. So I do want to give them at least today.
Well, yeah, I guess my point is, though, that, like, I want the final agenda to be in the last newsletter before the meeting. So, like, and also, because, like, the other thing is, if somebody's like, actually, we also need to talk about this, like, at this point, that might just be the quarter after this. Like, this is going to be
Long meeting.
a long meeting already. Like, if somebody wants to bring up something related to the stuff that's already on there, that's fine, because it's already on there, and this is related. But if somebody's like, could we also talk about creating a rock band or something?
No.
It's like, creating a rock band is not in scope. Like, like we just we're at the point where it's a week out. Everybody's had a long time to look at this. We've been talking about this stuff in the feedback channels. We've been talking about it in the newsletter. Some of this stuff's come up on stream as well. Like, I think we just need to be disciplined and say, we're a week out. This is the stuff we're talking about on the 19th. We're going to have a quarterly meeting 3 months after that. And anything you think of now that wasn't already related to that stuff that's already in there will come up at the one then. Like, that's just where we are.
Makes sense to me.
Okay.
So I also want to remind folks that next week is the last weekly edition of the newsletter.
And then we're going to be
so
switching to monthly. Yeah, I still need to get back to you about those illustrations. Sorry, like, I've just been swamped.
Yeah.
But
that's okay. I understand.
There's been no change in intention. Oh no, I forgot to call the insurance company. Well, no, I didn't forget. They said to call first thing Monday, and to me, first thing Monday is first time I'm free Monday, not...
Yep.
Yeah, and I haven't been free yet on Monday, but I do need to call the insurance company, because there's more follow-up about that. But yeah, basically, there's a bunch of stuff going on in my life that's eating a bunch of time, getting Corinne back to school, dealing with the insurance.
I don't want you to feel like I'm, like, impatient or anything with this. Like, take your time to... Because, like you said, you had specific references in mind, and I want you to be able to have that.
No, well, and I also, like I said, my big concern was I want to get these printed and back to me in time for Tennessee game days, or possibly even Dory Hill in September 9th. And what day is it? It's the 14th of August right now. So
if you want to start with at least one design, you can always do... Like,
I could just do... I've got the one, like, the @ symbol or some of the stuff that I was going to do myself anyway. But, yeah, so, like, we could just have something done and turned around quickly, but, yeah, realistically, I need to give you time to get stuff worked on and have time for revisions and then get it off to the printer and then get it back to me.
Mhm.
So I shouldn't drag my feet on this. I was hoping that this
Too much.
yeah, like we're kind of at 0 hour on it. And
Mhm.
so yeah. Where one thing, because I need to also write up the formal contract. Do you
Mhm.
remember, did you email me your quote or did you send it to me via
No, that
Discord?
was in DMs.
Okay, cool. Because I that was one of those things where I was like, I gotta dig this up, and I don't remember where it was. I'll get.
Yeah.
Okay,
No.
cool. Yeah, that's not a problem.
Quick scroll up our DMs and you'll see it.
Okay, yeah. Sometimes just figuring out where something is like one of
Is the
those
hard
like,
part. Yeah.
it's one of those steps where I'm like, I don't even have time to figure out where this is right now. But now I know.
I mean, I could also email you a copy if that'll help.
From a record standpoint, since this is going to be like a formal commission or
Formal.
whatever,
Mhm.
Discord is more likely to like get it bought out by Facebook than my email provider is. And so like if we need to
Mm,
reference this in a year or two, actually, yeah, please just email it to my business email as well. So
gotcha.
cuz that's where I'm going to be writing up the formal contract and getting all that stuff for you. So
I
it'll
can
be good to
do
have it
that.
there. Cool. And also, I'm sure, like, if I actually started scrolling up in our DMs, we have probably a lot of them. Like, so this is actually a huge time savings for me. Thank you.
Can I
Um,
also ask for a few clarifying questions in terms of if you have any specific file sizes and DPIs that you want?
that I need to pull from the printer, and I need to provide you as part of the spec for the work. And so
Okay.
so that would be like in the contract is that for the work to be considered delivered, it must be delivered in CMYK at
Right.
these sizes, that sort of thing.
Right.
So that way,
Yeah.
if you send me some RGB files and I'm like, Tommy, I'm not going to pay you. This is wrong. You
Mhm.
can't go. You just said I had to send the files. I sent the files. Pay me. I know you wouldn't do that, but like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So
Yeah. No, I
that's
get
gonna
it.
go in there, too. So yeah, don't worry about that.
Excellent.
Dottie Matrix says regarding the no rock band agenda item. Well, darn, there goes my elevator pitch for Joe Hills and the button beeps. I don't know if you were here earlier for Mumbo's button
Yeah.
beeping and beeping.
It's just
Beep,
if you
beep,
put in
beep,
an
beep.
extra note block, who would even notice?
Who would notice? There's not really room though. Is actually so like yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to bury something. It'd be all. How much of Mumbo's redstone do I really want to touch? It's kind of.
I mean, apparently it's all it can be a lot with the way Doc was building redstone under Mumbo's base
Yeah, so maybe that's
and
fine.
also button.
Yeah. I don't know. We can come back to it. Let's see. The computer is using 71 gigabytes of RAM at this point.
I think that's more than my computer even has.
Well, so the computer physically has 32 gigabytes of RAM in it, so it's using a bunch of hard disk swap as well at this point.
I getcha.
But this is actually a strong case for why my next computer should maybe have 64 or 128 gigs of RAM, which
So
is
you can have a render distance of 500.
oh yeah. I mean, honestly, HermitCraft 10 in glorious 8K, 500 block or chunk render distance. Uh, like honestly, one of the only reasons that I'm able to delay the computer purchase I was planning on making in the next 3 months was that
Mhm.
one of the big motivations was we were going to try and do some stuff where we rented theaters and showed some of our videos. No, I'm serious. Like where we would do a signing and show some videos while we were signing. People would be queuing up or whatever, but we could
That's so cool. I didn't know you could actually do that.
what do you mean? You,
Like, cause like you have to like.
well, now we can't because Mojang just said we're not allowed to use projectors to show
Yeah,
our videos. Part of that EULA change. But yeah, anybody can rent a movie theater.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and and we could basically say, hey, we're renting a movie theater and we're going to charge admission to offset the cost. But Mojang explicitly doesn't want people doing that either. Like,
Wah wah.
yeah, they're like, you can't do a ticketed event with more than 125 people. And it's like, well, the theater we were going to rent in order to make this cost effective was going to be a 200 seat theater. So I'm kind of annoyed about that. They're like, you can become an official Microsoft partner and then it's allowed. And I'm like, do you guys actually want to be partners with us? Are you going to respond to these emails?
No.
Yeah. We can't do that. So we haven't actually formally applied for a partnership like that, but that is now there's a required extra next step. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I've been experimenting with doing my latest videos in 4K. But like really to do it on a theater screen, you would want it in 8K.
Oh,
But in theory, all the things I was doing with Replay Mod and Final Cut Pro at 4K, I could have done at 8K as well. They would have just
right.
taken 4 times as
Longer.
long. Yeah, because basically 1080p takes a quarter of the time to do as 4K, and 8K would be about 4 times as long as that, at least with my current hardware. But I was looking at getting some upgraded hardware sooner rather than later to accelerate all that stuff. But now it doesn't make any sense. So, oh well. Excuse me.
I'm sure you'll find something to do about it.
I will complain to Tommy.
That's something.
That's
You did
something.
it.
I did it. I can tick that box. Okay. Yeah, so I'm glad we did talk about the quarterly meeting agenda and specifically freezing
Yes.
it for this because we're a week out. I want people to be able to decide whether or not to attend based on what's on the agenda a week out also.
Right.
Because
That's fair,
like,
yeah.
it's unfair to somebody if they're like, well, I care deeply about rock bands, but like we wouldn't talk about that till next quarter anyway. But like somebody might be like, I was gonna go to my friend's pool party, but this rock band thing is so important to me. I would have like brought my headphones and like gotten on a deck chair for an hour or something. Like, I don't want people to do that. I want people to go out and enjoy their lives, but I also want them to be able to make informed decisions, you know?
Yeah. How dare you be so considerate?
It's mostly because the HermitCraft meetings are a nightmare. Like, where people will be like, we'll be like, okay, we're going to talk about this topic in 3 weeks. And then people will be like, cool, that's great, because I can't make this week's meeting anyway. And then this week's meeting, we end up, oh, let's talk about this now instead of in 3 weeks. And then the people who are
No.
like, I went and spent time with my family because you said we weren't talking about that until 2 weeks from now. It's like, well, the decision's made. We argued about it for 3 hours, and everybody's too mad to ever go back to it again. It's like, I wanted to have...
Do you record the sessions for people who can't attend?
No, because if those recordings got out, it would be bad.
I mean, do you guys write minutes and share them?
Yeah, but like there's a big...
Okay.
But also, though, like, if you wanted to be involved and have input in a decision being made, getting the minutes or a recording is still not you being involved in the decision being made. You see what I'm saying?
Everyone should have a proxy.
Well, that's the thing is, we actually do have a system for proxying, but you wouldn't tell your proxy, hey, here's my input on this thing we're talking about in 3 weeks, when you know you're going to be at the meeting in 3 weeks.
Maybe you wouldn't. I would.
You would say, hey, just in case
I
they
would
talk
have
about this
all my
2
bases
weeks early.
covered.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, you're smarter than me in this way.
Clearly, this is a thing that occurs frequently, so yes, I would have learned to do that by now.
It's a thing that, now that you're saying that, that is so obvious, but part of me is I'm just always like, why would they lie? They said it'll be in 3 weeks. Like,
well, it's not necessarily a lie. They were just wrong.
I know, but that's the thing is people are constantly wrong about this stuff.
Joe, if there's anything I'm good at, it's thinking of something that should have been blatantly obvious in the first place.
Yeah.
Not all the time, though. Well, now you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think this is... Oh, it's still rendering in new chunks. Sorry, I'm occasionally seeing trees just pop in the background. Yeah. I mean, the game is rendering at like 1 frame every 3 seconds. I'm watching the clouds like a screenshot, a slideshow. Not a screenshot. But yeah, I like
a PowerPoint.
Yeah, I like the fog over the rivers though. That feels very Tennessee, like in East Tennessee when you're in the Smoky Mountains. All the valleys will have this like low fog like that.
Oh, that's cool.
It is very cool.
I
Um,
hope I get to see Tennessee someday. I hear great things about it.
it is beautiful. I would be happy to have you swing on down. Um, yeah, it would be. I really want to do an East Tennessee event, like out by Dollywood, but
Ooh,
one of the problems is there's not like a great airport there, and so it'd be really like a like like some of our some of the folks who like come to Tennessee game days and stuff, they're driving down anyway. So
right.
driving down from Ohio or Minneapolis to East Tennessee, yeah, it's an extra 3 hours, but like you already could have driven to Nashville and now you can drive a little further. But like for people who are like, I live in Los Angeles, flying from Los
Yeah.
Angeles to Nashville is a flight and you don't need to rent a car at that point. But trying to get
Mm-hmm.
out to East Tennessee, you'd have to rent a car, and right now the car rental stuff is bonkers.
Yeah.
Um so okay.
We'll figure something out at some point. That's a future problem.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I really do want to do that Long Island place that you were looking at next year would be
Oh
awesome too.
yeah, I didn't get to send you the file with everything. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, I mean it's not a huge rush because like
Yeah.
I
I have
wasn't
to tidy it up a bit first and then I can get it
yeah,
your
so,
way.
so that was before I realized I had double spent um cuz like basically my health insurance charge didn't go through. And I was looking at
Oh.
my bank account and I was like, wow, I did a lot better this month on saving money than I thought. I've got some extra to play with. I might be able to afford, to go up to Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh no, just this, $800 health insurance bill never
Oh.
got charged to me and I need to pay it now. I'm late on it. And
Right.
so, yeah. But like I had already said, okay, that's fine. We'll take some of that money. And that was where the money came from for the 2 extra hotel nights. Originally, I was like, I can drive 14 hours in one day to Wisconsin and then 14 hours in one day back. And then I was like, you know what? I'm ahead this month. Maybe the safer thing to do would be to spend 2 extra nights in hotels halfway each way. And so it's like, grumble, 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 grumble. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's nothing worse than thinking you have an extra $800 and
Ooh,
then spending some of it and then learning you do not.
that's my nightmare.
It's
That is what I have stress dreams about.
yeah, and this is one of those things where too it's like to some degree like unless I actually had like an accountant who not just to do my taxes but like looking at my monthly books.
Right.
There's nobody else that's gonna look at this. Like this isn't
Right.
I was like, okay, best case, I set up a process where, you know, uh, I log the payment confirmation code in a spreadsheet that like NJ has access to or something,
Mm-hmm.
and then NJ can say, hey Joe, it doesn't look like you got a confirmation here. Did you forget to put it in, or did you not get one? And then 99% of the time, the answer would be, oh, yeah, I hate this new system. I forgot to put it in. But so it's
Or that
not,
off edge case.
yeah. So that's the thing is there's no way for anybody other than me to check if this bill went through unless they basically had, accountant powers over my bank account, which we're not
Mm-hmm.
set up for.
Right.
And we won't be until we basically have an in-house accountant because the business got so big. Woo!
Which we're not quite there yet.
Yeah, we're not there yet. But yeah, this is one of those things I'm gonna have to mention at the August thing, like
Mm-hmm.
because in terms of like talking about the finances, it's like okay, there were definitely some mistakes made, and
Yeah.
that was one of the big ones. That was an $800 mistake, and then there was the $5,000 mistake with the immigration thing,
Right.
where I spent 5 months trying to do something to save $5,000, and it turned out that I was gonna have to spend the $5,000 anyway. I should have just spent that 5 months trying to make better YouTube videos with that time, and like that was a stupid, stupid thing, and I'm full of regret. I'm learning a lot about my own hubris running this business, but yeah, like I'm not gonna make that. I don't want to make that kind of mistake at the launch of season 10 in early 2024. So
Right. You want to go in strong.
and yeah, like just the damage that did to like the pacing of the season and a bunch of other stuff, like I'm still bouncing back from it this season. I think I've kind of hit my stride again finally, but like
Hmm.
that was the biggest possible waste of my time. All because I was just like, I don't want to dip into my retirement fund for this $5,000, and I ended up having to anyway. So
I mean, you really couldn't have known until it happened. So
yeah, but like also though, if I'm gonna talk to people about like the long term financial health of like the business, I also need to be able to say like, I don't want to just shrug and go, I don't know. I need to be able to say like, here's a specific mistake. Here's another
right.
specific mistake. These are mistakes that I have figured out ways to not make again. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's good. You're being proactive about it now, and
yeah.
that's the most you can do.
Yeah. It's just
Frustrating,
yeah,
exhausting.
it's just that to some degree the damage is done, and now I'm still doing basically some of the stuff we're going to be talking about the meeting is, hey, we're doing damage control from
Hmm.
that still today.
And
So,
that's okay.
and that's okay. But like it's not like I learned from it and we're in the clear. It's I learned from it and wow, this is going to be a whole thing for a little while.
You took one step backwards, but now we can take two steps forward.
Yeah. So, because yeah, like a lot of the discussion around moderation policies, it's like I see a lot of ways we could make things better, but they all cost money.
Hmm.
And at a time where we're dealing with some direct financial issues, it's like
Right.
I say we, it's but like yeah, I
You
feel
need the
like
best, most cost-effective solution.
yeah, like we yeah, there's a lot of things for example, when we originally envisioned the moderation system,
Hmm.
part of the plan was to every month have a meeting with everybody there who was available. It's not like a
Hmm.
mandatory meeting, but it was a strongly encouraged meeting. Like
Right.
if oh no, my mom's getting remarried. Oh, you better be there. That sort of thing. No, I mean, but the one of the ideas was that every month we would get everybody together and we'd review all the moderation actions that month.
I recall, yes.
And then I was like, we and this was before things even got as bad financially as they are now. I was like, we have to
Right.
cut that. That's one of the reasons that we were able to kind of keep skating by even as the financial situation was getting worse, was because we cut that a long time ago, which then saved about, I'd say, $1,200 to $1,500 a year.
Woohoo.
Yeah. The thing is, I'm looking at some of the problems we're having with moderation. I'm doing an audit. I'm reading literally every mod mail message and I'm
Oh
classifying
my
them in a
God.
spreadsheet to talk about at the quarterly meeting.
Hmm.
Not like I'm not gonna pull the spreadsheet up visibly,
No,
but like
but yeah.
people were saying like how much of mod mail is just questions, how much of mod mail is complaints, right?
Right.
And so I want to have that data. But like as I'm going through this, I'm realizing, oh, we should have talked about this one.
Right.
Oh, we should have talked about this. And people keep saying, Joe, it seems like you don't trust your mods, but actually, I've really just kind of said like I
No, yeah.
I have generally just let things go. I've just been like all what I've done is I see that there's a message.
Hmm.
I see that there's a message from somebody, and I see that a moderator responded to it, and I'm like, okay, cool, it's handled. But I'm
Right.
realizing like I thought I was reading those messages as they were coming in, but I might have been skimming them more than reading them, because now that I'm doing this audit, I'm like, I don't remember seeing this one. I don't remember seeing this one.
Hmm.
I mean, okay, Toxic handled this or so and so handled this, but I don't remember seeing this one. So, like, part of it
I
too,
mean, the problem is that there's quite a few to even have to remember it all, and some of the channels that the mod queue creates, it's if you just glance at it, you may miss several messages in there because there are people who have sent a few messages. And I also do want to say that there's also been input that wasn't even specifically in mod mail. Some things were addressed publicly in channels
yeah.
or even talked about briefly in DMs, you know?
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is I feel like to really achieve some of the goals that people want us to achieve,
Hmm.
we need to look at budgeting an extra $2,000 to $3,000 a year for moderation.
Hmm.
And this is at a time when revenue is down in the first 7 months $20,000 year over year. Like what we made this year versus what we made last year between January and July is down by $20,000, and the projections through December are that we'll be down another $10,000 by the end of the year. So
Ouch.
yeah, so and this is not unrecoverable,
Mm-hmm.
but this is definitely like, I don't want people thinking like, Joe, you're not listening to us about what we need. It's, I am, but I'm cutting a lot of things in a lot of places that I'm not necessarily complaining about publicly. So I can make sure that this happens, or make sure that, I'm staying afloat and my kid doesn't have to change schools. We don't have to move in with my parents, that sort of thing.
Right.
But to some degree, like, we might have to say some of these moderation ideas we might have to come back to after season 10 launches and see it, because usually right around the beginning of a new season there's kind of a bump in revenue.
Right.
And like, me focusing so much on that immigration paperwork for the first 5 months of this year, and also part of December and November, like, basically I spent so much time focused on that and not on making good art. I'm not surprised revenue's down.
Right.
And I'm gonna do better next time. But the amount of time that people might want us making sure that all the moderation stuff is where it is, I might just say that's gonna be early 2024, and we'll find some. There might be some short-term compromises where we can tweak certain policies here and there to make things better between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, we can't necessarily afford a perfect system at this time. And
Well, there will never be a
there
perfect
will never be a
system.
perfect system, but like, even some of the good ideas we have that we might want to implement,
Mm-hmm.
we might not be able to implement without budgeting for that month. I think we need to bring that monthly staff meeting back in order to make a lot of this stuff work. And I'm looking at the numbers right now, and I don't see that happening before the new season
I think the
launches.
monthly staff meeting can be something we can bring back in the future for sure, not at present.
Yeah.
I have some ideas swimming in my head. I got to write them all out, and
Yeah,
I
yeah.
will be bringing them up at the meeting, and hopefully other people can pitch in any suggestions they might have or thoughts that they have on what's already been suggested. But
Mhm.
that's Saturday's
Well, and
topics.
I will say, Tommy, just because the
Mhm.
meeting agenda is locked, that does not mean that feedback is not encouraged from people
No, of
in those
course.
feedback channels between now and the meeting. I'm going to be reviewing those feedback channels up until the day of the meeting, basically. I won't be necessarily reading them uh, once the petitions and build contests start. But, like, if you get it in by Saturday, I'll have seen it. So,
Sure.
Tommy, whatever you write up, I would love it if you could post it there for other people to review and give feedback on. The more uh the more opportunities people have to consider stuff before we get to the meeting, the better.
Hmm.
I
Right.
don't want anybody springing the meeting isn't like, surprise. Here's what I'm thinking. You never considered this. It's like, well, Christ, I wish I had. Give me that in
Hmm.
writing 7 days in advance, please. Like,
Also, some people might not think of things until they hear other things, though.
no,
So
I agree, but I'm just saying, like, if you
yeah.
part of the point of the meeting is for us to all get together and talk and brainstorm at the time, but if you have something to bring to the table, please submit it in the appropriate feedback channel in advance of the meeting. That's not just you, Tommy,
Is
that's
that
everybody in the community. um
feedback moderation
yes,
rules?
please. We've had a fantastic, I'm really happy with the discussion there.
Yes.
It's really helping me kind of see from a practical standpoint what we're going to need to do in the long term, and what
Yes.
compromises we might need to make in the short term. And so, yeah, that's where we're at. But yeah, like, for example, another thing that ties into that feedback moderation rules, like, somebody had asked, like, could we bring back the fashion channel? And
Right.
I would say we can absolutely bring back the fashion channel at the same time that we can get this mod budget approved, because the number one problem with any sort of channel where people are posting a bunch of selfies is is this violating Discord's implied nudity rule? Like, it's just one of those things that's like, it's extra moderator overhead I don't want to deal with. And it's,
Fair, yeah.
yeah. And so it's like, I see the value of the channel, but I don't want to deal with it until the next season launches and we have enough money that other people can deal with it appropriately, you know. So it is still loading chunks out there. I think that might actually be part of the ice boat track, maybe those mountains there.
We told it to load like 300 chunks.
I know. It's up to 87.3 gigs of RAM. And it is maxing out the GPU. I wonder if I did this without the shaders, if it would be faster or slower. I honestly don't know. Because the shaders actually do use part of the GPU instead of part of the CPU for some of this, so it might be better. It's hard to say.
Who could tell?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so... Okay. Yeah, sorry, we got kind of distracted talking about the finance and the stuff. But like I said, I'm happy to talk about some of this stuff kind of in advance of the meeting, just so people know what to expect when they get there. Nepeta says, I didn't even realize this was Minecraft. Oh, yeah. We set replay mod, or not replay mod, we set Bobby mod up to 300 chunks. And I wanted to see how far out it would render, if it would go as far as the ice boat track. And it's pretty far out. So
just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, so yeah, I think at this point, Tommy, we've covered everything. Am I wrong? What am I missing?
I can't think of anything.
Okay.
Cool. Oh, NJ just popped up in chat. Ask NJ.
Well, NJ, if NJ just got here and I say, did we miss anything? NJ's going to say, I just got here. How would I know?
Maybe she'll remember something.
No, I think we're good. My point is, I was pretty sure we're good. I just didn't want to shut you down if you had anything else. Because it's past 10:30 and Geico has been reaching my insurance company. They're not paying me. This is not an advertisement. But no, they've been pestering me over the weekend. They're like, don't forget to call us on Monday. Don't forget to call us on Monday. And I'm like, how many messages do I need that say, call us not now? Right? Like, I understand if they're like, you have to call us immediately. We have a huge problem. I'm like, okay, fine. I'll call you immediately. But they're like, you have to call us about your account on Monday. And I'm like, okay, I got it. Okay. So I'm going to get off the call with Tommy and wrap up the stream. If anybody hasn't seen XP Crafted's latest video, I think we're going to go ahead and raid that because apparently I'm pretty prominently featured. I still haven't gotten to see it yet, but apparently he enjoyed my... Oh, that was the XP Crafted noise. Apparently he enjoyed my attempt at his game quite a bit. So I hope you all enjoy that. Thank you again, Tommy, for joining me. Any final words before we wrap up the stream?
Thank you for having me, and bye, stream.
And until next time, y'all, this is Joe Hills from Nashville, Tennessee. Keep adventuring.